global education in association HSBC, presenting partner AIP, knowledge partner NSDC, prosperity partner Ed for All, visionary school partner LearnNInspire, university partner GLA, mentoring partner Intercell. The Future of Global Education Conclave, organized by Dynamic World Education Community on 9th June in New Delhi. Witness the participation of who's who from the education world, from government to educators and business leaders to change makers. All of them shared their insights and perspectives on topics that can help students make informed decisions about their global education and placement journeys. Over to Pooja Saluja, the founder and CEO of DWEC, for her opening remarks.
We have a dream with DWEC. We dream that no dream of studying globally of any student is unrealized due to reasons that could be under our control. And we want to support each Indian to become genuinely global. Dynamic World Education Community beyond just being a consultancy, it is a community for students, it is a community for institutes, which accepts that there are multiple stakeholders deeply attached to the success of each student, besides the student themselves. Our aim is to tailor-make solutions which are unique to the journey of each student. And I'm sure a lot of us will agree that education is not only the goal, it's simply the journey. We understand that. Our relationship with our students is based on the post-education journey. In addition, for universities, we can help identify right pathway programs which give them access to quality education, international exposure in a budgeted environment. Exchange programs that lead to faculty exposure and have been hugely successful. What if I told you today on this conference that international education is available to you for your students free of cost? Would you believe me? What if I told you that after your students complete their education, they have more than 100% chances of being placed? All of that is possible. DWEC makes this possible. We cater to end-to-end solutions to the challenges of each and every student as per their aspirations, as every student have different aspirations. Some want to come back after their studies, and some students would like to stay back and become residents of the same country. All of this is possible, and DWEC will make it possible. So you know where DWEC stands as of today to bring you all of your knowledgeable minds under this one roof to deliberate what is the future of global education. Let's try and find the answer of the unending questions in the mind of our young adults who dream of being global citizen. I hope we get an answer by end of the day today. With that, I would like to leave you with a thought, the future of global education. Thank you.
May I now request Mr. Varun Khosla to please come on the stage and do the honors of introducing the chief guest.
Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. If you look around you, see the people here. They have dedicated their life to this very cause. Mr. Amitabh Kant, CEO, Niti Aayog, Professor Anil Shashabudde, Chairman, AICTC, Mr. Ved Mani Tiwari, CEO, NSDC, Mr. Vishwajit Saha, Director of CBSC, parents, students, principals, teachers, overseas universities, and Indian. I'm Varun Khosla, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to this conclave hosted by Dynamic World Education Community on the future of global education. By attending this conclave, we all agree on one common fact. The future of education requires conversation. The future of global education now involves digital learning, e-learning, pathway programs, which have all become a part of our society now. EdTech platforms that enhance learning and provide skill upgradation are in the fabric of our society. The future of global education, therefore, is at an intersection of technology. The future of education requires conversation. I now say the future of education requires action, and that's why we're here. Let us use today to really talk about everything related to the future of global education. Around you are amazing people from education, within whom we have panel discussions, amazing networking sessions, and a lot of exciting things planned. I would now like to invite our chief guest, Mr. Amitabh Kant, CEO of Niti Aayog, who has not only graced us with his presence virtually, but also validated our mission with his presence.
I'm truly delighted that the dynamic world education community has counseled 33,000 students, has 81,000 courses, and 3,300 plus affiliated education partners spread across 20 plus countries. We now have a visionary and progressive new education policy 2020 after a long gap of 3 decades. What were once ideas are soon to become a reality. Top international universities will be able to operate and set up campuses in India, and detailed regulatory framework is in process of being finalized. Joint degrees between Indian and top international universities would be given, and NEP 2020 will further boost Indian institutions to set up campuses in other countries abroad. Now, fully utilizing the potential of all these government initiatives can be a game changer for our students and our higher education and research ecosystems in India and globally. I'm delighted that there is a discussion today on the future of global education and how global education will enable us to find curriculum and create innovatively curriculum for the jobs of tomorrow, and that is what education should be all about. Thank you very much.
May I now request Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe to please share his thoughts.
When we are talking about education of the future or the global citizens being created, there are lots of issues which we need to understand, and the present new national education policy which was rolled out on 29th of July 2020, just about to complete 2 years, gives all the thoughts that are required to be put in action. And that is what is absolutely what is known as global education. In the last 1 decade, we have been talking about several new technologies. For example, artificial intelligence has come to stay. We have machine learning. We have seen how robotics has played an important role. And therefore, this future of learning as well as future of jobs, they are absolutely related. One thing which is common is constant learning, lifelong learning and innovation. And therefore, several initiatives which have been undertaken in the last 4 years in India, they are giving us results in the next 3 years. I'm sure Bharat will again become Vishwaguru, which is our absolute dream. And ultimately, when we do that, our whole philosophy has been always Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, whole world must be happy, Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. So whether we develop our vaccines or whether we develop our technologies, we don't always think about making money out of that. Money is required. I'm not saying Lakshmi is also important. Saraswati and Lakshmi should go hand in hand, and that's what we have been doing. And through the new education policy, through education, we will create employable, entrepreneurial engineers, empowering the nation, improving the economy of the country. Thank you. Jai Hind.
It is my honor and privilege to be welcoming on stage our next speaker, Mr. Vedmani Tiwari.
National Skill Development Corporation would like to work with organizations like Dynamic, who are trying to redefine the education in a global context. This whole dialogue of the future of global education has to be about the global outlook that we can impart to our young generation. This whole, the global context that we are talking about is also presenting an opportunity for skilled professionals in India as never before. NSDC has started a company, NSDC International, which is working on providing overseas employment opportunities to skilled professionals in this country. The idea again emanated from our Honorable Prime Minister's vision several years back when he launched National Skill Mission, where the mission talked about making India a skill capital of the world. And now, when we go abroad and when we meet the employers and we meet the institutions abroad, what we find that India is in demand. I welcome you all to this dialogue, and let's take this conversation forward. Thank you so much.
May I now welcome on stage Dr. Biswajit Saha.
Approach of curriculum delivery. One is technology integrations, one is sports integration, and third one is sustainability, and fourth one is inclusivity. I think with that, if every organization thinks of proper collaborations, it is very easy to put our school ranking, our college ranking, our university ranking. Now, one way Government of India is very much focused on bringing foreign students in India, especially for the higher education institute. Now, my request to the school leader who are present here, there are global exchange, linguistics affairs and other things is going on. But how you also position yourself to bring the foreign student here in India, in your campus, and how we can promote the hybrid model of education's delivery. If you are not able to bring, then cost-effective education's delivery for all school K-12 to university level for the foreign nation, I think it is also very much possible. With these words, thank you, organizer, for inviting me.
Moving on, the first panel titled The Future of Global Education discussed how universities and schools are making students future ready with the new age skills and how the global education will shape in the next 10 years or so by 2030.
For me, the vision would be that by 2030, each student has a chance to do 1 year abroad. Whether that is 1 year in a hybrid mode or in an online mode or physically on campus, which of course always is the preference, would be ideal by 2030 to achieve. With the technology that we've got, there shouldn't be really any excuse why we do not allow each student to have an experience of working with other students abroad. And that would be my personal vision for 2030.
Out of the 50,000 institutions of higher education that exist in India, I would wager that more than 95% have less than 5 or less than 10% of students that are out of state. And most of them come from within the state. I think that exposure even to other states, other languages, other cultures, I think that's the sort of ethos behind this global education, where you're providing exposure, when you're providing learning opportunities beyond the classroom, from your peers, from your classmates, from your faculty, that would really develop citizens of the future.
The next panel titled Making the Gen Z Ready for the Jobs of Tomorrow talked about the skill sets required to fit into the future workforce and how the evolution in technology will open up new horizons for the educators to shape up the Education 4.0 for the country.
It is highly important that we take the opportunity of national education policy, challenge our framework, challenge our cages, challenge our the boundaries that we have built, and say that how do we get ourselves de-shackled with this and prepare the child to the world, and we need to unlearn that. So I think that's the shift that we need to do, and treat the child as a human being, and allow that passion to grow in that, so that they are able to unleash the potential and transform the world.
Our experience tells us that the shelf life of these skills that we are talking today is reducing by every decade. And this decade is called the techade. So what do we really prepare them for? We prepare them to learn, to prepare themselves for the ambiguity that the future has with itself. We prepare them to create jobs and not just wait for being job seekers. India as a country today needs more job creators than job seekers. So we prepare them to be having an entrepreneurial mindset.
I believe that as a parent, we've got a fundamental role to play as a key stakeholder in the life of that child, number one. Number two, I think we need to shift the responsibility away from just the school just because an institution is being paid a fee doesn't mean that they're the only stakeholders to drive change, values, culture, impact, right? I think there's a broader role across the community and society to play that.
There's so much of access to information. There are such great education systems that we have in India, and we're opening up to international education systems. There are nice short-term courses also going on. So I would say there are a couple of plethora of options available on a parent's table on which direction should he send the kid to. At the same time, it's also somewhere important, I feel, that I have 2 daughters, yeah. And I somehow feel that I would rather first try and help them identify their talent. If they can figure out what they enjoy doing, what are they passionate about pushing every morning when they get up, I think my job is done.
Dynamic World Education Community presents the future of global education.
महीने का राशन जियो मार्ट पे ऑर्डर कर दो।
हैं? जियो मार्ट पे आज सेल चल रही है क्या?
कल थी।
अरे तो कल मंगाना था ना?
आज भी।
आज भी है?
कल भी रहे थे।
मतलब हर रोज? माँ सही कहती थी, ये लड़की तेरी जिंदगी में हर रोज सुख समृद्धि लाई।
ऑर्डर कर दो।
संडे हो या मंडे, जियो मार्ट पर सामान मिले सबसे सस्ता एवरीडे। जियो मार्ट, हर घर का मार्ट।
Catch CNBC TV18 Shireen Bhan in conversation with John Bain of Corning Incorporated as they discuss the company's innovation and growth strategies.
We've continued to innovate, we've continued to invest, and we've continued to grow, most likely because our products are so vital to the world.
Watch Voices from the Valley at this time only on CNBC TV18.
How about listening to global market maestros before crafting your investment strategy? How about getting deep insights into their businesses from top Indian honchos before putting your money on the line? How about making every trading day profitable with strategies from the market masters, macro pundits and chart wizards? Only one show gives you a head start to your trading day. Get ready to profit. Get ready for business with Bajar at these times on CNBC TV18 and CNBCTV18.com.
If this camera could talk, it would tell you stories of dreamers and radicals, of global leaders and promising influencers, of pioneers who changed the game, of hearts racing with passion, eyes filled with determination, and minds filled with perseverance. It will talk of the countless hearts it's touched, and the soul of every single young Turk who made it here, and all the places that we've been to. What a ride it's been, chronicling the Indian startup story for over 2 decades. Join us as we celebrate this magnificent milestone. Young Turks at 20, only on CNBC TV18.
India's longest running show on startups and entrepreneurship turns 20.
Congratulations, young Turks, for completing 20 years. The show has always showcased the brilliant minds of the Indian entrepreneurs. Thank you, Shireen and team, for bringing the best of the Indian startup ecosystem.
Young Turks, 20 years of chronicling India's startup story.
Dynamic World Education Community presents the future of global education. The panel titled New Age Career Counseling talked about how to cater to the changing needs and requirements of today's generation and counsel them as per the evolving trends in the education sector.
As a counselor, I think we are becoming a little bit old in the sense in the world of today. So students and kids, they know more about technology than we do ourselves. You know, as I mentioned at the beginning, statistics and numbers are there for students to look at and counselors to look at and get students to learn more technology as we progress in the world.
The question is that what to learn and why to learn and how to learn. And unless until we are very clear and then we have a proper context, because learning will happen in proper psychological setup. If the learner is not willing to learn, nobody can make him learn. So the whole idea is that how to ignite the learning, how to inspire the learning, how to create the context so we can have 100% learning. Thank you.
The next panel title, Pathways, Gateway to Affordable Education, deliberated on the National Education Policy 2020 and how the policy is being taken forward by the educational institutions in bringing about a pedagogical change for students' benefits.
Regarding the new education policy which the Government of India has brought in NEP 2020, of course, we run many disciplines. Almost we got around 15 different schools. So multidisciplinary thing has to be brought in, and this is very well relevant because if you see that, if you go with the SHM report or even the latest ENY report, it says that, well, 92% of the MBA graduate and 80% of the engineering graduate, basically, they are employable. Absolutely. So it means that we have to look into the curriculum, what exactly we are teaching. And is it really making them a kind of a person which normally industry demands?
I think Indian curriculum has all the materials which is required for any pathways internationally. And working with a public university, we want to let all the students, it's just not marks based, a 70 or 80 or 90% student, we don't want to quantify it. We have kept the criteria in such a way so that all the students can have the options to study abroad.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Romit Bajaj.
We as HSBC, when the word global comes, so we are a global bank. We are present in about 63 countries globally. Our reach is the maximum which you talk about any of the financial institution has. So we basically give assistance to the students who are going abroad, telling them about the financial needs, what they need from the bank. What we do basically is that we set up their accounts before they go there. So I mean to say that we help the parents as well as the students to tell them about how expert we are in terms of giving you services. I'm really proud that I am being associated with DWEC. Thank you so much, Varun, for giving us this opportunity.
We now move to probably the most expected, anticipated and looked forward to event of today, and that is the award giving, recognition and felicitation ceremony.
Please put your hand together for Shri Satyaveer Lal Jain, Shri Suresh Chandraji, the Managing Director of Grand Columbus International School, Springdale School, Dholakua, the fastest growing institute. It goes to Trinity Institute of Innovations and Professional Studies, Greater Noida. So the award goes to Maharishi University of Information and Technology. University with a global outlook goes to G.D. Goenka University. Shri Educare Limited. Please put your hand together for Shada University. Mangalmay Group of Institutes. Please put your hand together for GLA University.
Thank you so much.
Dynamic World Education Community presents The Future of Global Education in association with HSBC, presenting partner AIP, knowledge partner NSDC, prosperity partner Ed for All, visionary school partner LearnNInspire, university partner GLA.